Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Terminator lab. This is the video number 54 and the last video in the series. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been discussing how we can automate most of the configuration and the steps that we have done concerning the MDT. Remember, we have done a lot of things concerning the MDT. We have downloaded the MDT setup file, and we have done a lot of steps. We have imported applications in the MDT, we have created tasks in the MDT, we have created bootable image in the MDT. All of this is done using manual steps or configuration steps. We have done a lot of clicks and a lot of configuration manually by ourselves. So in the previous video we tried to automate all of these steps through one script. So there is one of the guys on the internet have done a script to do a lot of things concerning the MDT, especially the configuration and the installation and the download of the MDT. So the script, what does it do? In the previous video we have discussed that it downloads the MDT, installs the MDT, installs the MDT batch or the fix for the MDT, and then it begins creating the deployment folders in the MDT automatically for you, and it begins importing the bootstrap.ini and the custom setting.ini for both or for any deployment folder that you create. So even in the previous video, we have seen that the script has created two folders, the capture share folder and the deployment share folder. And not only that, it has already created the bootable image for both of these folders. And a lot of things actually the script has done. So this is one of the things in our Terminator lab, how we can automate any process in your domain environment. We have seen that through the lab we have use the scripts to automate the installation of the Active Directory, automate the creation of users and groups and computers, automate the creation of group policies, automate a lot of things. So today we will continue working on how we can use another script to automate other things in the MDT. So for example, we need a script to automatically import applications in the MDT, automatically create folders for the applications in the MDT. We will see that there is a lot of things we can automate through another script. We need to import operating systems automatically in the MDT. We will see how this is done through another script. But before that, we have stopped the last time at this section. We all know that. Just a moment. So the last time we have, this was the script that we were using to automate the MDT configuration and installation process. Remember, we have stopped the last time at adding two additional lines. I have, this is my own creation, or this is another addition, or I have modified the script. I have added two lines to install two or to copy two files that will help us to fix some problems with the MDT. So one of the problems or the things, the first line, what does it do? It will fix a problem that is known in the MDT, and this is the description in the Microsoft website. Here, this is called HTA application report script error after upgrading to ADK for Windows 11 version 22H2. This is an error I have already discussed during the lab. When you are deploying using MDT, there is an error that will appear called script error. I have already shown you guys how this error appears, and this is the fix for the error. You can read it from the website. Here you go. This is, you can go to the Google or go to Google website and type MDT known issues, and it will get you to this page. You can see this section. This section, it is an error that appears in the MDT after upgrading the ADK, okay, or assessment deployment kit for Microsoft to Windows 11 version 2022 H2. This is the error, and this is the line I have added in the script to fix this error. It will copy a file from the script folder or from this this script, it is in a folder, and this file, it is in this folder that contains the script. It will copy this file and put it in a certain location concerning the MDT toolkit. This is the first line, will help you to fix an error concerning the MDT. The other line, it will fix another problem that happens with the MDT, especially when you are working with the MDT console. This is the error that will appear for you guys when you try to open any properties concerning any deployment folder or deployment share folder, and you try to open the WinPE section, then 86-bit, you will see this crash error. So this crash error, it is fixed by the second line. This is the line. It will copy a certain folder and put it in a certain location concerning the Windows pre-installation environment. Okay, so this is basically something or an error related to the Windows pre-installation environment section in the MDT console. So I have shown you all these two lines will help you to fix two problems concerning the MDT. So this is why I have added these two lines. So this is basically where we have stopped the last time. So let's begin our lab with another script, okay, that will help us to automate a lot of things concerning the MDT. So for example, if you need to import an operating system to the MDT deployment folder or deployment share folder, this is how you can do that. First, we need to run this command. This is basically, it will go to the MDT deployment toolkit folder and it will install the MDT commands or import it. It will import it to the PowerShell module. So basically, if you try to manipulate the MDT or control the MDT through the PowerShell, you will not be able to do that unless the MDT commands are inserted or imported to the PowerShell module. So this is the first line. It will import the PowerShell, import the MDT PowerShell commands to the PowerShell module on your PC. And then before doing anything, you need to know where you will modify or which deployment folder you modify. So for example, in our example, we have the capture share folder and the deployment share folder. So you need to specify which folder you will modify. For example, you need to import operating system to the capture share folder, or you need to import applications to the deployment share folder. So you need to specify which folder you will play with. So this will be done using this command, get MDT persistent drive. So the PowerShell or the MDT deals with the deployment folders using the network map drives. So for example, the clients will reach the MDT or a certain MDT folder not using the UNC or unified network location, or it will not go to the deployment folder or to go to the MDT folder using something like the network share name. Okay, this will not be done. It will be, or it will reach the folder using a network mapped drive. Remember, we have something in our terms in the Active Directory called network map drive. If you need to map a share folder to your users so it appeared to them as a drive or as a partition, this is called network map drive. So if you need to make your share folder or network share folder as a network map drive, this can be done using the group policy. So this is the group policy. So the same MDT doesn't deal with the MDT folders with their share name or network share name, but it maps these network shared names to drives or network map drives and it uses it. So for example, here we can see that there is something called DS002. This is the network map drive name for the capture share folder 1. Okay, so this is how the MDT communicates with the folders. So if you are using the PowerShell to, for example, modify capture share folder 1, you need to give it, or you need to give the PowerShell the network mapped drive name for this folder. So this is how you can modify or play with the MDT folders in your MDT console. So what is get MDT persistent drive? Let's see, for example, what the Copilot or Windows Copilot say about that. It say that the get MDT persistent drive is a command used in the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit which displayed the list of persistent MDT Windows PowerShell drives. These so and so. Anyway, this is not uh, it is not simple to explain, but here he's saying in simple terms, this command helps you see the list of MDT drives that has been made persistent, meaning that they remain available across different sessions. That we mean by persistent. It will appear and it will not be, or it will not disappear, it will appear through different sessions. Okay, this can be useful when you are working with MDT and need to keep track of drivers you are using. This is a simple explanation, but I can give you another AI explanation which is more convenient and more easier to understand. Here the get MDT persistent command in MDT is used to get information about persistent drives created in MDT. In simple terms, MDT has a concept of persistent drives, which allow you to map network shares and folders into drive letters. Okay, for example, mapping a deployment share. So this is basically, for example, when you have a deployment share folder, it will be mapped at a network map drive, not through drive letters. It can give you a name, for example. For example, in our scenario, here we have capture share folder. Its network map drive. It will give in a letter, not a drive letter, but a name, DS002. This can be used as a drive letter, okay, but it's simply a name, okay, a simple name that you can memorize, and it can be easy to communicate with or to deal with, not a UNC or unified network. I think, what is UNC? UNC, unified uh, network drive. I think this UNC is, it's the name of the folder. Okay, it consists of the name of the server, then the name of the folder, or the share name of the folder. Okay, anyway, so this is basically the persistent drive. Mapping persistent drives make it easier to access the network locations from within MDT instead of using UNC, unified network path, all the time. Okay, so the get persistent drive command simply retrieves information about any persistent drive that you have created. It will retain details like the drive letter, path, description, so on. So this allows you to quickly check what persistent drives are available and mapped within your MDT deployment share. It is similar to running a command like netuse to see mapped network drives, but specific to the persistent drives in MDT. So this command will show you the MDT deployment folders and their network map drive letters. Okay, so you can use it later, or use the mapped drive letter, okay, or network map drive letter, and use it to issue commands to play with this folder. Okay, so it is used to get few details on a persistent drive. Mapping letter helps you identify mapped drives for builds and deployments, retains information like drive letter, so on. So this is basically what this command do. So let's return back to our script. Now we have get persistent drive, and we know that we have a folder named capture share folder, and this is the network map drive name. So we need to import an operating system to this uh, folder, or capture share folder, or we need to import uh, a Windows 10 image or something, or import a custom image. So what we will do, we will run these commands. First command will import the MDT PowerShell commands to the PowerShell session. Then here we are get PS drive. This command, it will connect to the capture share folder. Okay, so it will connect to it, and then we'll begin issuing the third line, which will import an operating system. I need to import an operating system or a custom image to the operating system section in the capture share folder under operating systems, under a folder named WinServer 2022. The source file, where I will get the source file, okay, I will get it. Here is the source file. This is the source file in the capture share, so and so. So these are, by the way, I think here DS002, it is not capture share folder. This DS002, it is the deployment share folder, because this is the source image. It will be getting from capture share 1. Okay, so currently DS02, it is the deployment share folder. So I'm telling him to connect to DSS002, which is the deployment share folder, and the second line will import this image.wim. This is the source file, and the destination folder is WinServer 2022, which I assume it is under deployment share folder. So this is basically the three lines. Okay, what they will do, they will import an operating system, okay, from the capture share folder in the captures folder. Okay, this is the WIM file. It will import it to this network map drive, which is DS002. I think this refers to the deployment share folder. It will import it under the operating system under Windows Server 2022. So this is basically what this command will do. If we go there and try to see the explanation, the get PSD drive command is used to get information about network map drive. This is already, it will get it, okay. So let's see here what it is. What does it say? Uh, in simple terms, this command retrieves information on an MDT persistent drive named DS002. It would retain details like associated network path, description, root path, allows you to view configuration details of this specific MDT drive mapping. An MDT drive like DS2 typically maps to a deployment share or a build share in MDT. Just way easy. Okay, anyway, so this is basically, this line will connect to this folder and it will begin or allow us to work with it or change its configuration. So this is basically the line that you will use to automate the import of custom images to your deployment share folder. So this is basically the first line. So all of our commands, you need to make sure before issuing them, you need to get the MDT persistent drive that will show you all of the folders in MDT and the network map drive. Okay, so then you can get it and begin working with it. So this is the first line, and all of these lines we have explained. The second line, if you need to modify your bootstrap.ini for your deployment share folder, this is how you do it. You put the location of the bootstrap.ini. By the way, the bootstrap.ini and custom setting.ini, it is in the folder, in the MDT folder, okay, which is your deployment share or capture share, okay. It depends upon the folder in the control folder. So this is where the bootstrap.ini lies, and the custom setting.ini lies. So first you need to specify the location, and then this command will update the bootstrap.ini. This is basically a very simple command, and these are the setting as you can see here. And then custom setting.ini update the same. You need to give it the location and then run the command. It will update the custom setting.ini and the bootstrap.ini. So this is basically another command you can use to update the custom setting.ini and the bootstrap.ini. Then the other command, task sequence name client. If you need to create a task sequence but a blank task sequence, it will not import a configuration, or it will not create configuration or task sequence steps. It will create a blank task sequence. What we can do, you can tell him to first of all import the MDT commands to the PowerShell session, and then choose the location where this task will be created. For example, it will be created in capture share 2. This is, or DS001, this is the network map drive name for this folder, okay. And then we tell him to import task sequence under the task sequence, or create a task sequence, a new task sequence in the task sequence section under this S001, which is the capture share folder too. Okay, we will name the task sequence so and so the template client.xml, which means that this is a standard client task sequence. If we need to do it as standard server task sequence, we need to change it to server to XML, and this will be done in the other line. So here we are giving him the name of the task, the template or the task template, okay, if it is a client template, a task sequence, or a server task sequence, the comments, if you have any comment, the ID or the task sequence ID, okay, and the version and the operating system, which task sequence or the task sequence will be related to which operating system. We need to specify the operating system this task sequence will be attached to. So for example, here we are attaching it to our Windows 10 operating system. We have already a Windows 10 operating system in this capture share folder. So we need to make a task sequence to deploy this operating system. Okay, and the full name, it is so and so. Remember when we were creating a task sequence, these are all in the wizard during the configuration of the task sequence. You need to give him the username, the organization, and the home page. We have done this before. Remember when we were creating a task sequence manually in the MDT. So this is another line or a way to automate the creation of the standard client task sequence. The same will be done for the server, but here we are changing the template from client XML to server XML. Okay, so these are two lines you can use to automate the creation of task sequence, and the previous lines, some of them to update the custom setting .ini and the bootstrap .ini, and the first to import a custom image to your deployment share folder. So let's continue with the other lines. For example, this line, what you can do with it, you can create a folder under the out-of-the-box drivers. Okay, this folder, we will import to it the drivers or the PC drivers or the server drivers that we need during the deployment of the operating system. For example, the network card drivers, the display drivers, all of these. So we are creating under out-of-the-box, okay, in DS002, which is the network map drive for our deployment share folder, and we will create a folder named WinPE drivers. Okay, this is a folder. And in the other line, we will import the Lenovo drivers to this WinPE folder. So the first couple of lines will create a folder named Windows PE driver under the out-of-the-box drivers section in the MDT folder. We can access through the MDT console. So it will create this folder, and the other line will import the Lenovo drivers in this folder, and this is the location of the drivers in my F drive, so on, so on, so on, so. Okay, so this is also another line, and then after doing all of that, we need to create our boot image. Remember, we need to update our deployment folder, okay, or deployment share folder. So this will generate, or it will update the deployment share folder and generate the boot image, which is very, very critical, so we can give it to the clients to boot through it. So this is how we can do that. We can tell him to update deployment share folder, regenerate the boot image. Here the boot image was not created yet, so we regenerate the whole boot image. If you need only to update the boot image, then this is the line that you can use. So regenerate the share. This is the first thing you do if you don't have a boot image or creating the boot image from scratch. If you have it already, you can tell him to update the share folder only, not to regenerate the whole folder. Anyway, I think the two commands are the same. So first of all, the first command, it will regenerate, or it will generate the boot image, and then you can update the share folder or update the boot image with this command. Anyway, after creating the boot image, this is the line that you will use to put the boot image or import the boot image to the WDS, because the WDS will be responsible for pushing this boot image to the client. So this is the line that you will use. Okay, this is the line that you will use. You are telling him to add this boot image, and this is the location, light touch, so and so it will be added to the WDS. Okay, so this is basically how you can do that. So we can see these are all lines to facilitate the configuration of the MDT. So another couple of lines here, for example, if we need to import an operating system to a capture share folder, for example, and this is from a DVD, what we can do first, we need to specify the folder, then that will import the operating system to, and the PowerShell commands of the MDT. We have seen this a lot of times, and then the drive letter for our DVD-ROM. So we need to specify the folder that will be the operating system will be imported to, the PowerShell commands of the MDT location, and the drive letter of the DVD-ROM, and then we will define the operating system name, okay, and then the path where it will be imported. It will be imported to the capture share folder, okay, under operating system section, okay, and these are the couple of lines here that will import the operating system. Here we have defined the capture share folder, or the folder that will be imported to, and the network map drive. So this capture share folder, its network map drive is DS001. Okay, I think it's not capture share, it's capture share 2. So we need to modify this to be capture share 2. Okay, and here is the command to import the operating system to a folder named Windows 10 22H2. This is the source location, it's the E drive, so this should be as an E drive, okay, like that, should be an E drive, and we need to do like that, and here is the destination. So this is how you can import an operating system from a DVD. The first one was to import a custom image from a folder, okay, so this is the differences, okay. So let's continue with our scripts. So here, this is the import operating system from the drive, and this is how you can import it from a deployment, or the import capture image to deployment share. This is, we have discussed before, so we can go there, copy this line and put it there. Here, this is how we can do that, and here it is. So it's import capture image to deployment share folder. This is the correct line, and then this is how we can do that. So we have seen how we can import a capture image to the share folder, and then here is a very important section, how we can create folders under the application section in the capture or deployment share folder. So we need to specify the folder that we'll work with, and then under the applications we tell him to create a folder named test4. So under applications in capture share 1 we will create a folder named test4. So this is how we can create one folder for one application. Okay, what if we need to create a bulk of folders under the application section, okay, in the capture share folder? What can we, how we can do that? So what we will do, we will have a CSV file named folders.csv, and under it we can put all of our folders. So for example, here I need to create about how much folders? 25 folders for 25 applications. Okay, this is how we can do that. We specify, or we have a column named folder name, and under it we will put all of the name of the folders that we need to create under the application section. Okay, so this is, we can do that. We can tell him the location, and then the network map drive. This is deployment share folder 2. Its network map drive name is DSS, or letter DS002. And then here is the command. We need to import the MDT commands to the PowerShell. Okay, and then to get the PSD drive, this will connect to the DS002. And then these, here is the thing. Here, these couple of lines will access the CSV file and begin reading the names and creating the folders one by one. Okay, so this is how we can create folders under the application section. So this is basically how you can do that. The next step, we need to import the applications. So these applications, they will be local, or you can access them locally from the server or through a network share. Remember that we have all of our applications, it will be accessed through our file server, okay? So they are shared on our file server, and we need to access them through the file server. So here is, if they are local, you need also to put the couple of lines, and then here is to import the application. Okay, this is the name of the application, the short name of the application, okay, the version of the application, the publisher. We have seen this through the wizard when you are importing an application, the publisher, the language, the command line that you will use if you are installing it in a silent mode. This here you can put the command, and then the working directory. We can see here that this dot slash, that means that it is locally on the MDT server. Okay, by the way, this will be located in the MDT folder, okay, but it will be shared anyway. But this is if you are working with local folders anyway. So this is basically when you choose to uh, import applications locally, the first option. The second option is to uh, your working directory will be a network share folder. Okay, here is the application path, source path, the destination, the folder that you have created in an earlier step. Okay, so you have created application folder, and this is the source, this is the location of the folder. It will be imported to this application folder name. Okay, so this is basically how you can import. By the way, guys, this I have already put it in my Google Drive. You will see all of these already there. Okay, so this is if you are using your or local network or local path. If you are using network, not local, network source files, so the same will be done the same. Okay, we can see the same line, but at the end we will add no source. Okay, so we'll add no source to our working directory section. Okay, this is basically how you can say that this is a network location. Okay, so we can see it is changed. Here we can see dot slash application, but here we can see this is a share, or this is a file server, server name and the share name. Okay, anyway, so this is basically how you can do that. If you need to import applications from CSV, so we can import a bunch of applications directly to the folders that we have created earlier. So for example, we will have a CSV file. Here it will contain the folder name, the name of the application, the short name, the version, the publisher, the language, the command line. So the working directory. You can see here this is our all shared drivers. So we can see through a script we can import all of these applications directly to all of their correspondent folders. So we can go there, and here is the script. If you can go there, the same. Here is the CSV, the folder that we need to import the application to, the commands that will be imported, get PSD drive will connect to this folder, and then it will begin importing the applications one by one. Okay, so this is the couple of lines that we will work with. Okay, and we can see these are I have seen this. These are the these are the columns, or the names, the column names, folder name, so and so. So these are basically how you can do that. You can import applications directly, okay, from the CSV file, okay, or you can create it manually one by one, okay, through the other commands. So this is basically how you can automate a lot of things concerning the MDT. So we can see that all of these commands you can use to automate a lot of things through the MDT. So this concludes, or this is the end of our video. We have discussed through this series a lot of things. I hope it was informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing, and until the next video series or lab series, thank you so much and goodbye.